I am Sandra Lee, and this is Thursday Tips for Thriving, my weekly Thursday session, talking about whatever I decide to talk about for half an hour. And you are welcome to ask me anything. You can come on here in Facebook, and I've got Facebook open, and I can check to see if you post questions here, and I will answer them or do the best I can to answer them. So, yes, we've got the live going. I am talking today about lifestyle and habits, mostly going to be from the perspective of looking at supporting brain health. I've got a biofield tuning group session series starting on Wednesday, the 27th. And my focus right now is what lifestyle habits would benefit me when it comes to supporting my brain in being healthy throughout my life. So let's talk about lifestyle habits. If there is anything in my life that I want to change, anything significant at least, it takes developing a habit that supports that change. When it comes to body work, I've been a massage therapist for 30 years, and being someone who helps other people with physical issues, physical tightness, physical pain, stresses, injuries, I'm always encouraging them to make changes in how they live their life. Even if it's something simple as drinking water, which is so important for supporting health and my ability to function day to day, water is one of the big things. I am always recommending that people drink water because it's something that a lot of times people leave out or don't do enough of. So, having it be consistent. Let's talk about it from the water perspective. Being consistent in drinking we've heard about 8 glasses of water a day. It really does matter. Maybe not exactly 8. For some people, it's a little more. For some people, it's a little bit little less. But most people don't get anywhere close to 8. So being intentional in having this habit of drinking more water supports my body in being healthy and functioning properly. And my brain requires water. So if I'm not doing very well at keeping up with that, then having an intention to develop a habit and follow the habit so that my lifestyle actually starts to reflect the things that I know and the intentions that I have in support of my health and my ability to do what I want to do. So let's talk about water and this habit of water when it comes to brain function. This is something that I tell people frequently, and I've told people that as a massage therapist as well, that the brain actually needs a lot of water to be able to function. And if I am not getting enough water, my body prioritizes it. It says the brain needs to have enough water, and the rest of the body can kind of get along with less. And the assumption on the body's part is that this is going to be a temporary condition, that more water will be coming in the future. Right now, we've got a little bit of drought. So I am going to conserve and save the water for the brain that actually absolutely needs it and not have as much water in other locations where it's not as critical. So here's what I tell people. When I am dehydrated, there are several places where the body pulls water out or doesn't put enough water in, leading to a whole range of symptoms that people would come to me as a massage therapist. Okay. So let's talk about where that might be. You have the spine. You have the vertebrae and the discs, right? Vertebrae discs. The disc is like a jelly donut. It's like a pad that enables the body to turn and bend, and that keeps these vertebrae from squishing down on top of each other. So this is like a little jelly donut. It's like a pillow full of essentially water. It's got, a jelly-like substance, but it's basically water. So if I am dehydrated, my body says, we don't need all of that water in that disc right now, so we're just not going to put as much water in there. And the disc gets dehydrated and it collapses a little bit. And then it might start to break down. So you can have damage to the discs, you can have damage to the vertebrae. All these things happen partly because I don't have enough water. So looking at this lifestyle habit, drinking water, that ultimately supports the brain in functioning and long-term health, that when it's not being taken care of properly leads to symptoms, not just with the brain, but also in terms of other areas of the body, like the back, the spine, lower back, the discs. It can affect the joints. It can affect the muscles. All sorts of different things are affected by not having enough water. So this is one case where this lifestyle habit that is beneficial for everyone needs to drink water, that has a long-term impact of the brain and everywhere else too. So that is one of the most common habits that I talk to people about, is this thing about water. Let's talk about another lifestyle habit that I've talked about a lot, both in these Thursday Tips for Thriving sessions, in my posts on Facebook forever, in my blog posts, all that. Eating, eating healthy food. In this upcoming series, Memory and Clear Thinking, the Biofield Tuning Group session series that I talked about, a significant part of those sessions are going to be relating to food, because food is one of the most important factors that impacts brain function. Now, I've been talking about it for years. It impacts all of health. It makes sense. What I eat is what becomes my physical form. What I eat is what gives me the energy to be able to function, do the things I have to do. What I eat has a huge impact on my brain and how my brain operates. Let's take an example. So think about when I eat a lot of junk food, and it makes it so my brain, I can't think clearly. Like in the immediate time, I can't think clearly if I've eaten a bunch of junk. It's affecting my brain. It's affecting my body. It's affecting how my body builds itself. It's affecting everything when it comes to how my body operates, how my body is able to heal itself or not heal itself, how it feels good or doesn't feel good. Another thing that happens if I eat too much junk is I feel tired, and my body might feel achy, or my stomach might feel upset, or I might have pain in my joints. Personally, I don't have all of those things, or I don't experience them, um, because I don't eat that way most of the time. So, to tell you the truth, I don't have current memories to recall on how those things would affect me personally, but I know that with people that I've worked with, that it affects them. This is one of the reasons why how we eat is one of the most important things to address for all aspects of health, and certainly when it comes to taking care of brain health, brain function, and memory. Now, food is a lifestyle habit that can be particularly challenging to change. It can be really hard. And just understanding that. When it comes to working with people, and I've done this before, supported people in making changes in food, um, it takes being understanding with yourself, working with your beliefs and the emotions and things that come up. And food brings so much of that up. So, when I'm working with people who want to make improvements in how they eat, I don't expect them to be able to do it all in a shot. That's not possible, really, for pretty much anyone. It's just not realistic to expect to be able to just do it quickly and immediately. So, to incorporate changes in your eating one at a time, gradually, so that you are able to incorporate these changes into your lifestyle. So it just becomes part of how you live, how you eat, how you operate every day. It has to be doable or you're not going to do it, right? So to decide, to prioritize, right, what needs to be changed first or what feels most doable is maybe a good place to start. For me, I am most likely to change something when I understand why. So, this whole thing that I explained about when you don't have enough water for your brain, your body takes it out of your discs, takes it out of your joints, takes it out of your muscles, doesn't give it to you. So, when you understand that, you're more likely to actually follow through. At least if you're like me. When it came time for me to make some changes to my diet, and this would be, oh, I don't know, close to 15 years ago, um, I decided to stop eating wheat and to significantly decrease the amount of grain that I consume. And um, because I learned, oh, this is why wheat has the potential to be harmful. In my case, I didn't have active symptoms associated with it. I made that decision to prevent myself from having a problem. And now I'm really glad that I did for a lot of reasons. But understanding why is a big part of how I operate. So that also means that when I am working with people, I want them to understand why. So when I do biofield tuning with people, and this will certainly be part of the series that I'm talking about, I explain a lot about how things work and why these changes might be beneficial. I'm a scientist, just to be honest. So it's like I like understanding how the body operates and how different things affect the body. So, like I was describing with the water, right? When I don't have enough water, this is what happens in the body. This is what happens to this tissue. This is what happens there. This is what happens to the brain. And so I like explaining those things, just like I did, right? So I talked about the structure of a disc and the water. I do that with everything when it comes to how the body operates so that the people who I'm working with can understand. And I use biofluid tuning in the session to help get the energy moving in the body associated with the issue. So, for example, thinking about getting enough water. And if somebody isn't getting enough water, the energy can be stuck. And so I do the biofluid tuning. It's like, oh, associated with this issue, the energy is really kind of stuck and plugged up. Let's see if we can get the energy flowing, and that might make it easier for you to get this habit implemented into your life. It's really kind of fascinating the way that works out. So, um, helping people understand why and what's going on with the body. This has been one of my long-standing challenges with the conventional medical system because, in my experience, they don't do a very good job of helping their patients to understand what's going on in their body. I really like to help people understand so that they are able to consciously be aware and decide what to do to support themselves so that my body can operate the way I need it to, the way I want it to. You know, incorporating lifestyle habits is beneficial for other areas, not just health. Could be, that there are habits that help when it comes to my relationship or habits that help when it comes to my business. Any area of life where I want to have something be different can require implementation of a habit. So, what habits do you have that you want to incorporate that will help your life be better, that will help your health be better, that help your business be better? Because it's all about what you do consistently. If I do something, yeah, occasionally, it's not really going to make much difference. You know, let's talk about movement and exercise and fitness. It's like if I only do movement once a month, it's not going to help me very much. Helps more than none, but it needs to be more consistent to really help. I know our bodies were really designed to be moving pretty much all of the time and to have stress be a minor influence. In the world today, stress is continual and the requirements for movement for most people are significantly reduced. So, another good lifestyle habit is to make sure I incorporate more movement, walking more, carrying things, weight bearing, getting aerobic exercise, so getting the heart rate up so that it supports my body in being healthy, supports my brain. Back to talking about the brain. Movement is so important for protecting brain function, for supporting the brain in being able to, over the course of a lifetime, continue to function well. That is another thing that we are definitely going to work with in the Memory and Clear Thinking Biofield Tuning Group Session series that's coming up. So, lifestyle and habits. Let's talk about what keeps me from having the beneficial habits that I might know that I need to have, like eating, movement. I know that I need these things. It's obvious. And I've heard it, maybe from doctors, practitioners, you know. So it's like we all know what is necessary to do. But do I do them? Maybe not. A common thing that gets in people's way when it comes to implementing lifestyle habits is beliefs and emotions. You know, I have, people who I have worked with food issues. And it's like the emotions stop them all the time from following through with the actions that they tell themselves they need to take. Now, I am really understanding with people about that. And I encourage people to be understanding with themselves about that. I don't, what I say is I don't let people beat up on themselves. They don't. It's like, be realistic. I am expecting myself to change something that I haven't been doing and have all these emotions and fears and angers and upsets and stuff associated with this issue. So when I think about changing this, all kinds of stuff comes up, all kinds of resistance. I don't want to. I'm afraid. All these things are going to come up. And that's just life. It's going to happen. So for me, myself, I take that into consideration. Knowing that that is going to happen, how am I going to manage it? And understanding that I need to be okay when I'm not perfect because I'm not, that's for sure, not perfect. But I don't scold myself, berate myself, punish myself for not doing what I say, you know, I think I should be doing. I was like, okay, didn't do it today. Commit to doing it again tomorrow, next time, and then celebrate every success. That's what I tell people, right? Don't beat yourself up for any perceived failures and celebrate even tiny successes. And then over time, those successes will build up to the point where you've made a significant change. Let's go back to, to the food. You know, I have had, whole food eating, making my own food for decades. And, I would say close to 15 years ago, my husband and I made a significant change in the way we eat. Now that's normal. I don't have to make any effort at all to continue in that pattern, to continue on with that habit, that lifestyle change that I incorporated. It was, can be challenging in the beginning, but once it's in my habits, it's automatic, easy, natural, does not require additional effort because I've already got the habit going. So, what habits would you benefit from incorporating into your life to support your health, to support your brain health, to support your work, to whatever, to support your the things that you love doing? If you love knitting and you don't knit often enough, you can develop a habit to spend time knitting 3 days a week for 20 minutes. I don't know. I'm not a knitter, right? But you can develop a lifestyle habit for anything that you want to do. If there's something you want to learn, make a habit of spending time focusing on this. Whatever habits you need to support you, you can help yourself. And what's wonderful is it's all up to you. It's all up to you. Celebrate every success and don't beat yourself up over any perceived failures. And then just get back up and do it again. But I do know that it can be difficult to make changes. Really. One thing that I know that I need to do is make sure that I get to bed every night by 10 o'clock. I'm not very good at making sure that I actually do it. That's one of my growth areas. So again, I'm not perfect, right? But by setting the intention that I'm going to do that, it means that I'm more likely to get close. If I have the intention that I'm going to get to bed every night by 10 o'clock, I'm not going to be up until 2 o'clock, which sometimes, that's something I am prone to do. But because I set the intention that it's going to be 10 o'clock, I'm not going to get to 2 o'clock. It could be 10:30. Sometimes it could be 11, but not 2:30. Does that make sense? So it's like I celebrate that as being a success rather than a failure. I'm not going to scold myself when I go to bed at 10:30 instead of 10. I celebrate the fact that it's not 2:30, which really, left to my own devices, I very well could do that. Be up until like wee hours of the morning several nights a week. I don't do that because it's not good for health. It's not good for my brain. It's not good for really much of anything other than obsessively working on something. There was a point where I was working on a marketing program that I had a lot of work to do, and I didn't have time to do it during the day. So the time I was doing it was in the evening after any work, after eating, after all those things were done. And a couple of nights a week, I would be up until way too late. And I said, you know what? This isn't good for me. So I modified that commitment that I had made to that program to not kill myself, essentially, not harm my health, long term health, by spending time working on something that I felt like I needed to do. Sometimes making these changes requires decisions that might not be easy or that might involve changing a commitment that I have made, just like I did. Well, so talking about lifestyle and habits, at least partially associated with supporting brain health. On Wednesday, the 27th of October at 5:30 Pacific Time, I am starting this biofield tuning group session series about memory and clear thinking. If you want more information about this program, I'm going to put a link in the comments or in the, associated with this post so that you can get information. It'll be in the comments. So, this is going to be a pretty comprehensive program. As I've been doing research for this series, I am realizing how important this topic is and all of the complex issues associated with it. You already heard me mention several of the lifestyle habits that I've talked about, how they all impact the brain. So, all of those things are going to come to play in this group session series. And if you want to really do things that help your brain to stay healthy, help your memory function to remain healthy until the end of your life, long life that it may be, then you might be interested in this program. So check out the information in the link that's going to be in the comments, and I will be happy to answer questions if you have them. Thank you for watching and listening to me talk about lifestyle and habits in support of brain function and health. Breathe. Have a wonderful day. You make a difference in the world.